Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. If you are new, welcome, and if you're not new, thank you so much for coming back for another video. In today's video, we are talking about the Sephora summer sale. Okay, recommendations for things that you might want to consider purchasing with your 20% or 15% off at Sephora this week. So if you want to see my recommendations, then definitely stay tuned. So I don't have a lot of new recommendations for you guys. Like, I think this is like the first time I'm doing a recommendations video. Usually I just go through my own wish list for you, but I did have a request for specific recommendations for you guys. I'm going to try to highlight some of the newer products, but then I think there's a lot of things that are a little bit older that you guys might want to consider picking up as well. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm gonna suggest to you guys is going to be the Jaclyn Ina palette. I think this is a really pretty palette. Okay, very versatile. I did 3 looks. I did a 3-look video with this palette, so definitely check it out. I'll put it in the cards up here, and yeah, just check that out. But it's really beautiful on deeper skin tones, but it also works on lighter skin tones as well. So Mel Thompson did a very good video with this palette, Kinky Sweat as well. So they are both on the lighter skin tone spectrum, and they both really enjoyed the palette. So it's not only for deeper skin tones, but it has beautiful pigmentation for deep skin tones. Highly suggest you get this palette if you like the colors that are in it. Of course, if you don't, then don't get it. But I find that there are some very everyday shades in here, with edges and ginger and credit. You know, you got your you know, earthy tones there, also with sponsored and lituation, and then Dwalas. And then you've got your more brighter tones with the pinks and the purples here, and you can, you know, just get some everyday shades with it and then go a little bit more dramatic as well. So yeah, definitely check out this video, but I would recommend this palette for you guys to pick up. And anything else new? I feel like that's the newest product that I would recommend to you guys. The Pat McGrath foundation did come out at the end of July. I have it here, but I'm not going to tell anyone to go out and get it. I have combination oily skin. My preference is a more matte foundation with a little bit more fuller coverage. So just keep that in mind as far as my recommendation on this. Now, if you have dry skin and you like a light coverage, then maybe this will be a good one for you to pick up during the sale. But for me, I'm just going to say wait till December. If you have my skin type, wait till December and see about maybe this will be a good foundation for the winter time when it's not so hot. Let's hop into some other recommendations. Okay, so we got some foundation, and I'm gonna recommend to you guys the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations from Sephora. I just like the way it wears. I like how easy it is to apply. It blends out nicely. It looks very nice on the skin, and like I said, it wears a long time, and you know, it stays in place. When I blot, it doesn't pull off of my face. So I really like this one, and I am in the shade New Caledonia, and they have a nice shade range with this foundation. The Too Faced Born This Way foundation, I have recently just fallen back in love with this foundation. I really like it. It is a medium to full coverage. However, 1 pump of this gives me full coverage. It lasts very nicely when I do my whole setting with my powder and everything like that. I find that I don't see a lot of oils peeking through really early in the day, and then also, you know, my smile lines have been maintained as well. So I'm liking this, and I am in the shade Tiramisu in this foundation. However, I will say to you guys that this is a foundation that matches my face more than it does my chest. So it is darker, you know, than my chest. Is one of the darker foundations that I have in my collection. Sephora matches me to Chai, but I didn't like the way Chai looked on my face, so I went ahead with Tiramisu. So if I have to recommend to you guys a concealer, I would say the Born This Way concealer, the multi-use sculpting concealer. I'm in the shade Chestnut. I am almost finished with it. I'm down here with the level of, you know, what's left. It's a great color for me for highlighting under my eyes, you know, forehead, all that jazz there. I do believe they extended the shade range of the concealers as well, so that is really good. And I think this is more of a full coverage concealer. It doesn't dry my under eye at all, like Shape Tape can be a little bit more drying. This one is not drying. It's nice, blends easily, and then you still look, you know, good under your eyes. But however, I would say to you guys that my favorite concealer has been the Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer, which is a drugstore concealer. So if you're just itching to buy something from, like buy a concealer from Sephora for some reason, then Born This Way is a good one. But my favorite right now is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. So just FYI there. Another concealer I would recommend from Sephora is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Flawless Concealer, and I am in the shade Medium Dark Warm Golden. This is more of a medium coverage concealer. It's a little bit more lightweight than the Too Faced as far as its consistency. The formula of this one is a little thinner. I have not had any issues blending this concealer out under my eyes or wherever I put it. It always blends out pretty nicely, very nicely. Okay, oh, something is a little bit newer that I would recommend to you guys, the ABH Eye Primer. I've been using this ever since I picked up the Jaclyn Ina Palette, and I like it. So I did have some issues with it in the Jaclyn Ina video with my first look. I don't know what was going on with that, but every time after that I've used this this primer, it's been working really nicely for me. I am able to work with the shade. Of course, if they had some other shades available, then that would be good, but that shade works fine for me, you know, just blanking on my eyelid, and then I just fade it up nicely into the concealer area, you know, for my brows, and my eyeshadows pop on it really nicely. So yeah, I like it. I'm gonna go into more face products. Okay, so recently I have picked up, or actually I haven't picked up, BoxyCharm. In my recent BoxyCharm, I have received the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder in the shade Golden Bronze, and I am really enjoying this powder, and I would recommend it. Now, I don't recommend it for that like Hydra Mist part, the, you know, I feel like it's a kind of a gimmick of it be like feeling wet. This is supposed to be 90 some odd % water in this powder. Very refreshing, a nice cooling effect on your skin when you apply it. However, it does not last in this powder. I have had I just got this powder, so this powder is still cool. It still feels wet on the skin, but I have this powder in the original shade. It's like a translucent, and after I don't know how many months, it was no longer wet, and I kept the little insert closed like it tells you to do. But I do recommend it because it is a good setter. It sets your face, and it's a great refresher as well. So after I've come home from work and I need to go back out, I blot my face and I dust this over my face, and my face is just like, you know, set back in place. I'm nice and smooth out, nice and matte and everything like that. So I do like this, and the shade is once again Golden Bronze. Not for setting the under eyes though, not for setting the under eyes. I do have a video on my channel from a couple years ago when they first came out with this powder in the original shade. I will link it here. Okay, so another face powder I have to mention to you guys is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder in the shade 3 Tan Dark. I like this powder. It does have an interesting smell to it, but it's not super off-putting. It just smells like something, like some, you know, ingredient. Maybe they didn't mask it with like a fragrance or something, so it doesn't smell the greatest. So this one is a really nice setting powder or finishing powder for the face. It does blur, but it's not a mattifying powder, so if you're looking for something to mattify, this won't be it. But I do like to use this for buffing my makeup and like getting rid of any harsh lines and things like that, and making this face look all together like, you know, smooth and seamless. So I do like this powder for that. I'm gonna mention to you guys the 2 Natasha Denona face palettes. These are beautiful, so if you have not picked them up yet, definitely consider it. For my lighter skin toned ladies, this would be perfect for you. If you're like a shade or two lighter than me, this bronzer is going to show up really nicely, but it shows up on me as well. So depending on the foundation that I'm wearing that day, like for instance, my my Tarte Face Tape foundation is one of my lighter foundations that matches my chest really nicely. This shows up nicely when I'm wearing a lighter foundation. When I'm wearing some of my deeper foundations, I'm not going to see that as much, but even then, when I'm wearing, on those days when I'm wearing maybe a deeper foundation, then these highlights work very well. Okay, so I do like this product, and you guys can see I have, you know, put a little dent up in that powder bronzer right there. I like that to, even if I have like a really intense contour, using that bronzer to blend that out and make it look more diffused. And then you guys already know from the beginning of the year, whenever this released, I was a huge fan of this Bloom Blush and Glow palette. It just seems like it was made for deeper skin tones, so I cannot say enough about this. This is fantastic. And I think you guys can check out my top face palettes for women of color for deeper skin tones in the video here. I will link it up top. So some of this is reiteration, but hey, put the information here as well. All right, so the Cover FX Face Perfector palette, Perfector face palette in the shade medium deep. This is a beautiful palette. Every color in this palette works for me. This one is a little bit ashy on its own, but just putting it right at the tops, you know, at the high point of the cheekbone versus all over, you know, the cheekbone, like I sometimes do with my other highlights. This one is more of like that pop to get that beaming, you know, highlighted effect. But this palette's really good, really good. Even the finishing powder, I don't use that one often. I'm more so into this bronzer here and this blush and then the highlights, but this works well too as a finishing powder. Get a nice fluffy brush in there and just, you know, buff around your face to, you know, finish off your look, and you're good to go. The Sephora Spice Market palette, really good, really good. You've got that nice bronzer in here. People are making bronzers available that actually show up on deeper skin tones, so this one is really good here. And then all the blushes look really beautiful, and that highlight, even though it looks white, it goes on a nice golden shade, and it's really pretty. And Sephora did recently come out with a larger like face palette in 3 different shades. I haven't tried those. Did you guys see how many face palettes I have? I really don't need to be buying a $59 one, but I would imagine that would be just as good. So if you want, you know, even more options than this, because I feel like that one is like a magnified Spice Market palette, the new one that they came out with. I mean, there's highlights in those palettes, but I did want to touch on this one, the Chocolate Geode from Becca. It's really beautiful. That really nice, you know, true golden highlight, beautiful formula, and I like this one a lot. So if you're looking for like an individual singular highlight, then I think this one would be good. But you know, palettes are always good too, so, but you know, this one is a good one. And then recently I picked up the Sephora Golden Hour palette, or the Golden Hour powder. Another beautiful highlight there. This one is in the shade High Noon. And then a blush product from Cover FX. This is stunning. It's beautiful. I like the way this looks on my cheeks. Both of the products, I mix them sometimes. I use each one individually, and this is in the shade Sweet Mulberry. This came out right during the middle the last Sephora, you know, sale, and I picked it up then. So if you guys were thinking about it, I've heard great things about the other shades, but this one is the one that I have, and I like it on my skin tone. Now if you're a little lighter, I don't know if this one will work for you, because even on my skin tone, I can go a little bit too ham and it will look like a bruise. So you just gotta have that perfect, you know, amount. But if you're deeper than me, then I feel like you'll have a little bit more, you know, free reign with usage of this. But the pigmentation is really nice, and it's not like powdery and dusty or anything like that. I'm going to talk about a few palettes. These Natasha Denona palettes, the Lila and the Sunset, and I'm specifically mentioning both of these because they are on sale now, so you can get the sale price of $99 and then do your 20% off on top of it. So these are really good quality. You know, these are really great quality. So if you're interested in these color schemes, then definitely, and you haven't, you know, and you are interested in trying Natasha Denona, definitely, you know, either one of these. But my favorite of the two is the Lila palette. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty. All the shades show up really nicely. The metallics blend together very beautifully. And on my skin tone, I can get some really nice everyday looks out of it, even though it looks so red or, you know, so pinky, you know, purple. Kinky Sweat said magenta. So I think that describes it perfectly. But this whole area here looks really nice, neutral toned, okay? And even that shade there looks like you can add that or use that, you know, on a daily look, you know, that's not too intense. And then you can get that intensity in this area here. So yes, I do really like this palette. Sunset is cool. Just in my, you know, makeup life right now, I'm not really checking for these shades so much because it is very warm, very pretty. I have a video on this palette, so I'll link that there. I'm gonna try and put as many links as I can in the video. I only get 5, so but yeah, beautiful, you know, beautiful palette, and the shades perform nicely. It's just a matter of, you know, what is your preferred color scheme. Viseart Koi palette, I have mentioned this in my top 5 palettes for 2019. Was it top 5, top 7, something like that, for the first half of 2019. This was one of them. So if you weren't able to participate in the Muse Beauty Pro buy this get that sale that just happened, you might want to get this with 20% off, or Muse Beauty Pro does great sales, you know, around Black Friday, Christmas time, and things like that. So if you can wait until then, I would suggest that you wait until their next sale. But if you want to, if you just cannot wait, then get this on, you know, with your discount, 10, 20 or 15% off. It's a really good palette and I would recommend it. Oh, and then for lips, I'm gonna recommend a couple glosses. I do like the Becca Glow Gloss. I have not mentioned this on my channel, I don't think, but this is a really good gloss formula. I have this in the shade Chocolate Geode. I picked this up, I think, at the same time that I picked up the Becca Chocolate Geode highlighter. It's really nice, has a nice formula to it, very moisturizing on the lips, and it has a little tingle to it, like a peppermint type of a smell. So yeah, I like the formula of this gloss. It's the only one I have, but I like the formula of it. And then the Pat McGrath glosses are really, really good. I think I have like 3 or 4 shades of the Pat McGrath gloss. So this is a time, I know these are a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get some money off. So if you want to splurge and give it a try, then definitely pick up a gloss from Pat McGrath, because she has a great formula. And you know, not, once again, nice, kind of thick but not too thick. It's not a thin gloss, so this has a nice moisturizing effect on the lips as well, and beautiful shine for the lips. You know, find the shade you like and you're good to go. And I don't know if they have a mini set of these, but if they do, then I would, you know, get that so you can try like 3 of them at a time. And I did forget to mention earlier, but I would recommend this Farsali Skin Tune Blur. I'm almost out of this one, so I might have to pick some up, but this is a nice primer. It does, you know, do some smoothing and some mattifying of the skin. I had some issues with the dropper not really picking up the product like I wanted it to, but the product itself works nicely, you know, nice and smoothing on the skin. Oh, okay, and then I think it goes without saying that any of the Pat McGrath, you know, palettes that you've been interested in, I would get, you know, try one if you've been interested in trying one, or, you know, you had your eye on one, you know, get the take advantage of the 20% off, because they are, you know, a little expensive, okay? So every little bit of money off helps, and she doesn't have a lot of sales, okay? If you're interested, check out some Pat McGrath palettes, you know, and I've got a whole Pat McGrath playlist that you can look at on my channel to see some different looks and, you know, ideas of looks you can achieve with the palettes, okay? I think I've shared enough recommendations with you guys for now, so definitely let me know what you guys are thinking about purchasing in the comment section below, and we can have a little chat, okay? I have already placed my sale order, so I will be doing a haul for you guys when all of that comes in. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful. I know we didn't talk about a lot of new products, but I don't feel like there's a lot of new stuff that's available at Sephora that I've been sharing with you guys. So yeah, I hope the video was helpful. Definitely let me know, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more content from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I upload videos 3 to 4 times per week. All right, I will be talking to you guys really soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.